welcome to the Hot Topic podcast for the cool and the uncool. My name's Shiggy.
And I'm Juice.
And I just like to start this episode off by saying I had an interesting day today, to say the least.
Yeah?
So it was my high school's homecoming game. So the band had to travel out to the stadium where we had to play, shit like that. The game was pretty normal. We won, actually, which is irregular because our football team fucking blows dick. But we were like, as we were trying to leave, we had everything loaded in the trucks. The two other buses left, right, with all the other band members. And so percussion is just sitting around saying, where's the bus? So the bus had left. The driver thought we were done with it, even though our garment bags were still on the bus. The dude just fucking cheesed it. Which is, he just fucking left. He was like, oh, well, okay, they got off, they're done. He goes back to fucking downtown Houston. It's 4 fucking o'clock, okay? And it's 4 o'clock, right? In Houston, Texas. Anybody who lives in Houston knows how fucking hellish the traffic is at 4 o'clock, okay? Oh, so we had to wait 2 extra hours sitting at a fucking stadium, okay? I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, right? It's 50 degrees and windy. I'm freezing my ass off here, okay? So it was rough,
Is it really freezing over there right now?
Yeah, it's like 50 degrees. It's like actually starting to get cold. It's like Texas, there's 3 seasons. There's winter, there's fucking hottest butthole spring, and then there's summer, which is it's like the I wouldn't say the final layer of hell, but it's like up there. It's like the third layer of hell. It's pretty hot. There's a lot of fucking mosquitoes too, and I don't like mosquitoes. They're assholes.
It's still like 90 degrees where I am.
That's rough, buddy.
I mean, you get used to it, especially when it's like summer going into fall and it's mostly the same temperature. So it's just like I only have 2 seasons here, and that's basically it. I mean, winter is really nice. It's like 70 or so degrees on a daily basis, so it's like perfect weather.
Someone from fucking Canada is gonna watch this and just be like, pussies, absolute pussies, because there's this line. It's like the Bible Belt of America. And once you get past that line, it just gets cold as fucking shit in the winter. Like, hellishly cold.
Yeah, it's almost like, rather than lining out the states, like on the map, by physical landmarks, they did it by temperature.
That's how I think of it. Anyway, I think we should kind of get this episode started.
Yeah.
So, I have the coin this time. I have the power. So Juice, you can make your call. Heads or tails?
I'm gonna go heads.
Okay. And it's tails. So
Nice.
I'll start
Alright.
with my topic.
Mm-hmm.
So my topic is it's an album by one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Bjork. Her first album debut came out in 1993. It's a really, really good album. If you don't know who Bjork is, she's an Icelandic alternative dance singer. Well, she started more of as like a pop dance, and over the years she's evolved into like one of the best pop artists of all time.
Well, to each their own.
Okay. we fight. That's all we do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really listened to much, but I will say, is it Venus was a boy or is a boy?
As a boy.
Oh. There's so many words in the English word. I'm trying to think
right
of the
there.
word of,
Language?
That works. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. It starts off with this funky fucking track. Funky as fuck, okay? Human Behavior.
And why have I never heard this before? You know I like funky music.
it's fucking funky. These Latin ass rhythms, like, it's weird. It's like it's this '90s, like dance, almost techno album, right?
Yeah.
And it starts off with like fucking bongos and congos and like a marimba, this like super Latin beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, it's a really good song. Like kind of the talking points that I've written in my little notepad on my second monitor for this are all just songs and human behavior. The main draw to that song is definitely the instrumentals. Like, just they're just rocking, Sometimes it's hard to put it into words. But Bjork in that song, she talks about if you ever get close to be human in human behavior, get ready to get confused. And I think that's a really good lyric. Just talking about, like, even though we're all humans, and it says, oh, if you ever get close to a human, like, that sounds funny, but it just get ready to get confused,
Yeah.
I think that's true. That's a good lyric.
Oh.
Anyways, a couple. Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
Multiple people who are like raised somewhat like the same way, they're just so different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just a weird thing.
You talking about like people raised in the same household, or like people raised in the same city?
Just anywhere really. I don't know. Like,
Mm.
there's so many like small differences that can happen that can influence one person, like maybe a major way, or to another person it's nothing really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what makes it so much for this one person, not much for another? It's really weird to think about.
Yeah. After that comes a song. It's not an original Bjork song. It's a cover that she did. I think Frank Sinatra has done it too. I'm not sure who the original artist is. It's called Like Someone in Love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a live recording, I think. She's like in like New York City in Central Park or something, with this professional harpist, like the harp, like ancient Greece,
Yeah.
And it's like all about like, I'm stumbling into things, and I'm hold on. Each time I think of you, I just forget where I am, and I'm running into things, and I just feel like I'm sitting on a cloud. And I think it's like, it's not Bjork's song, but there's something about Bjork's voice that just can make any song, at least for me, make any song seem like it's like this wonder of like, this innocent girl in like her late teens or like her early 20s, just like discovering how love works and how people act and shit like that. I kind of like to think of Bjork as like, this might sound stupid, but I like to think of Bjork as like a nymph. She seems like a fairy to me.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to be a nymph.
Oh, what I wouldn't give. Anyways, after that, another song I really like by Bjork is Aeroplane.
Ooh.
It's... Ooh, if you think human behavior's got some funky Latin rhythms, oof, you need to listen to Aeroplane.
Just... I'm gonna set a reminder to listen to this.
Yeah, you need to listen to Aeroplane. It's like... It's all about, I'll take an aeroplane and I'll cross the world to follow my love,
Oh?
And it's these funky fucking Latin rhythms. It makes me feel like I'm like, what's her name from Tarzan? Like, in like a rinky-dink 1930s personal jet flying like low over this like the Amazon jungle. Like that's the vibe I get from this shit. There's some funky fucking beats in that. It's a really good song too. And at points there's where she stops and she and there's horns and saxes that come in, and like especially the drum set in that song, fucking funky as shit. After that comes another fantastic song. I mean, like, why would I talk about the shitty songs on this album? I mean, there aren't really shitty songs, but there's some songs that stand out to me. The final track is the next one I want to talk about, the Anchor song. It's Bjork, and there's a saxophone quartet with all the different kinds of saxophones in it.
Yeah.
And there's only about, it's like, I think it's actually a traditional, like, kind of Icelandic way of music, with just the saxophones and one singer. No, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
I'll try not to.
She talks about living by the ocean and diving into it at night, like this freezing Icelandic ocean. It's a beautiful song. It's got one of my favorite saxophone hooks just of all time.
And why is she diving in there? It's cold.
'Cause that's her home, the bottom of the ocean. And I don't know. It's kind of one of those lyrics that's up to like interpretation.
Is that why you think she's a nymph?
She's a, I don't know what the word for nymph. Mermaid. There you go. She's a fucking mermaid.
So what do you think of her? A mermaid or a nymph? Pick one.
I think a mermaid is a type of nymph, but I'm not sure. Aren't nymphs just like women who will trap men?
That's
like
a
on
siren.
an island? Oh. Well, no, mermaids are sirens. Well, they're a type of siren.
I don't
know. Look, I read the Odyssey once, and I still didn't understand it when I was fucking reading it. So don't ask me what a nymph is. Fucking Odysseus just spent a while on that island. They had sex. They had a lot of sex. I don't know what it was with the ancient Greeks and humans fucking things that weren't humans, but they really liked that.
What else was there to do back then for entertainment? Let's be honest.
I was gonna say gladiator matches, but no, that's Roman, isn't it?
I think so.
You could drink a lot of fucking wine and die.
Yeah, but what if you're not rich and don't have money for that?
You could think about things. I mean, it seems like the only type of Greeks were the fucking Spartans and then those fucking losers over in Athens who just thought about shit.
Even then,
Nerds.
I think some of them were, like, killed by the government for thinking.
I don't know, the ancient Greeks, we don't know that much about them. They definitely were ballers, though.
I mean, they knew.
Anyways.
They knew some stuff.
They did. They knew quite a few things.
I mean, what else are you gonna do if you only can think about stuff? You might learn some things.
You could write a book about a guy who funks nymphs.
That sounds like a good way to spend your time.
Yeah, and then, just like all the other Greeks, you die at 35. Because that's just how it went back then. Okay, anyways. Coming off of ancient Greeks, the last song I want to talk about, speaking of Greeks, by the way, actually, no, speaking of Romans, by the way, Venus as a Boy, honestly, one of my favorite songs of all time. It's actually the song that initially got me into Bjork. If you've ever watched the movie Leon the Professional, it's actually Natalie Portman's first movie. She was 12 in that movie. She fucking smoked live cigarettes on set. What's up with that? I know. It was the 90s. It was a different time. Anyways, it's all about, like, this boy who's, like, you know, taking this girl's virginity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like... This is like my basis of Bjork being a fucking nymph. It's like this song. She's like, he's exploring her, and like, there's so much to lose. And then it's like, he's Venus, like, you know, Venus, the god of sex and shit like that. And I think it's just like, it's such a beautiful song. And that vibraphone lick in there, I've always tried to figure that out, but I never really gotten. I'm sure if I dedicated a day to it, I could figure it out. But that vibraphone lick is still one of my favorite vibraphone licks, just ever. Like, and this is coming from me, who's played, you know, percussion music for 6 years now.
That long, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while. Anyways, that's all I really have to say about Bjork, or at least debut, her first album. Fantastic album, genuinely fantastic album, and it was her first one. After, of course, she split away from the Sugar Cubes, but her first solo album. I mean,
Was it Bjork who made that one video where she was talking about, like, her TV and stuff?
yeah, I love that video.
Can you, like, describe it to me? Because I don't remember it that much.
Okay, so it's Bjork. I don't know why, but she has a TV, like those old glass TVs,
CRTs.
right in front of her. Yeah. And she's talking to this interviewer, and she's like, I have learned so much about the TV, and I met this poet in Iceland, and he talked about, oh, the TV shows you all these pictures and all these sounds all at the same time, and you just absorb them subconsciously without thinking about it. And so every time I'd watch TV, I'd think of that, and I would get so confused and so overwhelmed at all the things, and it would just give me a headache and make me afraid. So, and she talks about like how TVs work, not like actually how TVs work, but just how like TVs work for Bjork, for like 3 minutes, and she's like, and the moral of the story is, don't listen to poets because they'll fuck you up. Well, she doesn't say fuck. I don't think Bjork's ever said fuck, but
I wonder how cell phones work in her realm of reality.
I wouldn't even want to get her started on that.
Oh, I would. I'm really interested in that. Just how do things work for her?
She's in her own world.
And I can respect that, That's pretty cool.
Anyways, that's all I have to say about Bjork. Yeah, Juice. It's your turn to talk about your topic for this episode.
Okay, so my topic is a video game. It's a game that you and I have played quite a bit.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, do you? What is it?
I think you should name it because it's not my topic.
Okay, it is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Is that what you're thinking?
I could have guessed that.
Yeah. So it's otherwise known as PUBG, which is basically what I'll be calling it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just a lot easier to say.
Yeah. I heard other people calling it Plunkbat, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Plunkbat?
I mean, I guess if you, extend the abbreviation, it kind of makes sense. Because, PLUNK, and then BAT from Battlegrounds, But it just sounds...
That's fucking stupid.
It's goofy.
Goofy as fucking shit.
And you know who called it that? A game
Brendan
journalist.
Himself. Oh.
But, so this game is basically the better version of Hunger Games. It's based off of the movie that Hunger Games is basically...
People get really bad when you call it Hunger Games. It's Battle Royale. It's not Hunger Games.
Okay.
I've had this discussion with a couple of people.
I'm just saying, okay. I'm just saying, most people don't know Battle Royale, which personally I love. I have a Battle Royale t-shirt. Not gonna lie to you.
I've never seen it, but I know that angry nerds on the internet don't like you talking about Hunger Games without talking about Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is a much better movie. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm sure it is, because Hunger Games fucking sucked.
But, so basically, 100 people, 100 real people, all get onto a plane, and the plane flies over an island in, a random line, and you or the people you're playing with on your team have to drop somewhere and then get some guns and healing items and stuff, and last person standing or last team wins. And there's this circle which is called the play zone that closes after a certain amount of time, pushing you toward the center of it. so that the game doesn't just go to a standstill when 5 different people are like opposite corners of the map, just chilling, waiting for somebody to go by. Something I've like noticed, especially when I was like first playing the game, usually with games I'll get discouraged if I just suck at it. But even though I knew I kind of sucked at this game at first, I felt like I wanted to keep playing it because of the fact that I knew there was 100 people and it's basically impossible to win every single game. But if you're playing something like Call of Duty, there's a much higher chance that you're going to win every game because you're not just by yourself and there's not so many teams. So like every round you play of the game, it feels different than the one before because the plane goes in a different way and not everybody is going to drop in the same spot that you go to. And no spot has like the same amount of stuff as the last game that you played. And I found that it's a lot of fun to play both by yourself and with your friends. Because I don't know about you, but I've tried playing games by myself. And then once I play with my friends, it's like, I can't play this by myself anymore. It's just not as fun. But I don't know, something about it just is fun both ways. And something else I like about it is, like, I don't want to get into it, but Counter-Strike is a $15 game. And there are crates that you can open, but you need to buy keys to open them. Well, listen.
Shade.
I already bought this game. I don't want to buy keys. Just
You
let
gotta
me open the
earn
crate.
your keys. You can fucking suck at Counter-Strike and you can have some really baller shit. But if you fucking suck at PUBG, you're gonna look like you fucking suck at PUBG. So there's actual motivation to get better, you know? Because
No.
I don't know about you, but my motivation is in games is I want to look like a fucking baller. And if I don't look like a baller, there's gonna be some issues, you know?
Yeah, but you can suck and look pretty good. Because since you don't have to buy the keys and stuff, you can just get the crates, sell them for like 50 cents each, and after a couple crates, you could buy some pretty good looking stuff. Like some entry level good looking stuff. Like I think for my character, before I bought that like $10 hat, you know the one? I think I spent like $5 at most, and I could have easily gotten all of that with crates. That's only like 10 crates. Maybe 12. Depending on how lucky you are when you're selling your crates.
Yeah, it's just random with how the crates are. You know, that's just economics for you. The more of them there are, the less they're gonna cost. The less of them there are, the more they're gonna cost. That's capitalism, folks.
Very easy to understand. With times of playing with you, I remember so many like good moments.
Oh, just yeah, that's one of my favorite things about PUBG. It's that there's nothing going on.
And then
It's
suddenly,
yeah, it's like I'm gonna say I'm like genuinely 95% of the time you're just gonna be driving or looting or just walking around. But then those few and far between moments where you kill like 3 people, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you kill like 3 people, it's just fucking awesome. You feel like a beast. Like I'm going back to Counter-Strike, right? Counter-Strike, you start the round, you buy your stuff. Okay, that's like 15 seconds. And then you get in position. That's like 20 seconds. And then the enemy arrives, and then you have an aim duel, and whoever wins, right? That's like what, 45 seconds maybe.
yeah.
You know, you're half a minute. You're like a minute into the game, and that's when things start happening. PUBG, I mean, it could be a minute into the game when things start happening, but if you land in the right place, you'll be doing nothing for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, you fucking see those people, and your eyes like light up, and you're just like, yes. And those are those moments that make the game worth playing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, or just playing around with the broken driving physics.
Yes.
Like that one time when you and I were on we were on a motorcycle, and I was driving, and I was going crazy. I was just like, let's go like 140 kilometers. And then I see this little hill. Like, it wasn't a little hill. It was very steep. It was large.
Fucking Hot Wheels, that bitch.
So I just do this like really sick jump. And
Oh my God.
we jump over a tree, and then we somehow land it.
Like the thing is, if you haven't played PUBG, the bikes, if you flip over, like the cars, if you flip over in midair, you're fine. The bikes, if you flip over, you get ejected out, you know, because you fall out of your seat and you die. Because you're gonna fall to your death, so you die. This isn't H1Z1. You can't just hop out of your car and be fine. No.
But like right after we landed that, we kept going, and then I hit the smallest bump. And it throws both of us off. And you needed revived. So, yeah, it's a great game. There's great moments.
Yeah.
I've actually won 4 times by myself. And
I've won once by myself. But you also have significantly more hours than me in the game.
Yeah, I have like 180 or so, I think.
I have barely 100.
Let me check. Go to my library here. Yeah, I have 184. It's a great game.
I have 100. I have 109. So.
I've won 4 times, and every single time that I got a win, my chest, I could not feel it.
Yeah, like I got an NVIDIA Shadow Play, like an instant replay on my win. Like I saved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I can literally hear, like, I mean, at the time I didn't really notice it, but I couldn't hear, like, I could hear like like I could hear myself breathing, and then at the end I could hear myself like fucking like push back my chair and stand up and be like, yes. And that's me alone. Like when I'm playing with other people, like I like to have fun and I like to like yell and shit like that. But
yeah,
when I'm playing alone, you know, I'm silent because there's not anybody to hear me yell.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had my mic on when I was just playing by myself, but instead I just listen to music, so all of my recordings have music over them.
And you get copyright claimed.
I've actually been copyright claimed once, thankfully. And it wasn't like a major thing, it was just people in Canada can't watch. I'm sorry. I really wish you could see that really cool video. Some of the good moments that I can remember are like somebody's driving straight towards me in a car, and I'm running low on ammo, and I decide to just stand there and shoot them. Because it's like, you don't have much time to run out of the direction of the car, because it's just going so fast.
Going so fast.
And I ended up killing them while they were driving towards me, but the car kept going. So I took damage, but I didn't die, so that was pretty cool. And sometimes, if you just get the drop on somebody, like, you know exactly where they are, but they don't know where you are. It is the most satisfying thing.
I love watching them panic is the thing. like they get shot and then they run to cover where they're even clearer, like for you to shoot them.
Because they just don't know where you are.
And they start jumping and like spinning around.
Just desperately looking.
So desperate.
And then
That's also something I really like about PUBG is that long range engagements are really like they're a lot more common. Like
yeah,
in in Counter Strike, there's a few places, or in Rainbow Six, there's a few places where an ACOG and a sniper rifle's useful. But PUBG, I'm gonna say the majority of situations, if you got a sniper rifle and a long range scope to put on that thing, you usually have the upper hand.
basically like 70% of the game is sniping, but
Mm-hmm.
the last moment, you really don't
Make the
even
close range.
like. Sometimes you don't even need a sight. You just
Mm-hmm.
aim from the hip and you're fine. Usually, dogs are barking. I hope that doesn't come off in the mic.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I heard them bark again, and I think just a little bit. So if you can hear those barks, you can thank my grandma's dog, Pepper. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, if you can hear those barks, that's me when I get a kill in PUBG.
Well, that too. Yeah, that works too.
You just start barking.
It's just so exciting that you gotta
It
let it
really
out
is.
somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you just get that very satisfying view into another person's life and how they're experiencing it when they and their teammate are standing on the stairs and one
I
of
know
them
exactly what you're talking about.
and one of them just pulls out a grenade and pulls out the pin and doesn't throw it and accidentally kills them and their teammate just with one grenade.
I think that's another one of my favorite things. It's just watching people, and there'll be people like in their cars and just doing stupid shit, just like you do. Like, like I remember being in like wheat fields and shit, and people will drive by on motorcycles and hit a bump and flip out, and their friend will get down. They'll be like, "Oh shit," and then you kill them, and they're just like fucking asshole.
Just hit them while they're down.
Yeah, it's a really good game to be a dick in. I
Yeah.
can't say that.
I mean, there's no like text chat, so
Oh, trust me, if there is a text chat,
I would not be playing that game.
I would not be playing that game either.
Because even the people who do have mics, they're not that great. Let's be honest
Mhm.
here.
And that's on a microphone. Like you can say anything in text chat, but
Yeah.
takes a special kind of person to be yelling certain things.
That
just in their
should
house out
not be
loud.
said
Yeah.
by certain fair-skinned people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you kill people in video games.
A heated gamer
A
moment.
heated gamer moment.
Thanks, PewDiePie.
Sometimes it just slips out.
Oh, PewDiePie, why'd you do it?
Why? Why?
But that one time that you and I saw that team die from their own grenade, like, we couldn't hear them. I just saw them walking up the stairs, and next thing I knew, they both died from a grenade.
Yeah.
And you and I started laughing so hard.
I remember being like really confused at first.
It was just so funny. Cause like,
It really was.
what happened? Why they...
What happened?
And then I remember another time, you and I were playing, and we just dropped, and there were two other people landing with us, and they killed you. I killed both of them, and since it was like the beginning of the game and I didn't want to go through like maybe 20 minutes of just playing without you, I picked up a grenade and I just threw it at the ground and I laid on it.
That was the most honorable gamer moment.
If you don't kill yourself with a grenade to keep playing with your friends, then you're not a gamer. I'm sorry.
Not really friends. Yeah. It's just the truth.
PUBG is a great game. It's still in early access at this point.
At this point, on October 28th, 2017, we archive this. And we'll look back on it.
I think
and once Brendan is elected president, we'll be like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Different times.
Just an FYI, Brendan is the person who made the game.
Yeah, I think we've referenced that multiple times, but Brendan is player unknown.
Yeah,
They're
Brendan
his
Green.
battlegrounds.
And the coins you get in the game, like to buy crates, are called BP, and I like to call them Brendan points.
Such a fucking narcissist.
I mean, what else are you supposed to call them? Battle points? That's goofy.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they're called Brendan points.
They're Brendan points.
They came from him. He provided us with these points.
The Brendan point is getting inflated at this point. Speaking of economics.
Oh yeah, the game is only like $30 right now, and
they might. No, they probably won't up the price on release. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, I doubt that. But I actually thought it was so good that I actually bought the game for a different friend of mine. So I spent like $60 buying myself and my friend a copy. And then I spent maybe like $20 on clothes and stuff. And that's basically all I've paid for it. And I have like 180 hours. And usually my whole thing about buying games is I better play an hour for each dollar I spent on that. You know, I think it's a pretty good
I think it is too. It's a good rule of thumb.
I have at least 2 hours for each dollar I spent. So it was a very worthwhile investment, and I would not change that. But that's all I have to say about PUBG. It's a great game. Give it a try.
Brendan grounds.
Give it a try if you want. I recommend watching some gameplay footage of it before you buy it, because I understand it's not going to be everybody's like cup of tea, and something about it is like on Steam you can refund it if you don't like it, but you only have...
I don't think there's anywhere else to buy it.
Yeah.
Other than Steam.
But the Steam rules are like you can't refund it if you played more than 2 hours, but two
so
games...
you can only play like
two games are going to be
games.
like 2 hours, so
Mm-hmm.
you might want to...
So you better decide quick.
Yeah, so definitely watch something. I kind of recommend the Polygon Awful Squad streams. I think those are pretty fun. They actually won one time, and that's the only time they've won. I'm pretty proud of them for that.
Yeah, I think most games you can get like the gist of a game from a YouTube video, just like kind of cut up moments, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true for PUBG. Like, part of the PUBG experience is the avant-garde gaming.
Yeah.
Just long and empty, but it's somehow still enjoyable, you know?
Yeah, especially if you're playing by yourself, I recommend some slow tunes. Personally, going back to episode 1 of this podcast,
We time together. Nice.
I strictly listen to Andy Schaaf while playing. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, and I have PUBG clips of me just playing games, and every video has me listening to Andy Schaaf. Yeah, and that's why I got a copyright strike in Canada.
Is Andy Schaaf from Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assumed, because he always talks about cold, hard winters up north that freeze your doors, or freeze your locks.
And that's a weird thing about Andy, like, I don't know if he's telling the truth. I've never been there. I don't know what it's like. Can somebody, like, send me a message saying if that's true or not? Can it actually
Help
get
us
so
Canadians.
cold?
I mean, I'm sure it can. It's fucking cold.
Isn't it colder in Russia, though?
Yeah, well, Russia is... like, Canada and Russia are, like, pretty much the same landmass. There's, like, 40 miles in between them.
40 miles?
No, 40
Alaska.
miles. Well, Alaska's pretty much Canada, let's be honest here.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just Canadian. It's just Canadian territory that America claimed. Sorry to anybody in Alaska who's a real American patriot, but just accept your Canadian blood.
Yeah, we're really sorry. you might as well travel east a little bit, and you're still home.
You probably won't even notice the difference.
It's still cold. And
There's still bears and meese.
meese?
Multiple mooses. Meese. Goose geese.
Is
Moose
that
meese.
really what they're called?
No. Just pulling a quick goof on you.
Good, you scared me. I was like, there's no way. There's just an animal species when plural sounds that goofy. There's just no way.
Geese is pretty stupid when you think about it. Geese. Just say it a few times. Geese.
I don't know. I'm used to that by now. Geese is a special animal.
They're like evil ducks.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about PUBG. Great game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that ends the episode.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to the person who did the art. I know I gave him a shout out last time, but they make some good art, and they were very kind to do the art for us. I mean, we paid them. They were still kind enough, because I didn't have like a reference sheet for my picture, so they had to go off of my description and stuff, which is not something a lot of people would do. Big ups to them, and also big ups to Potamus for the song Addiction from the album Milk and Cookies that you can find on bandcamp.com. Stay tuned for the next episode where we'll talk about other goofy things.